Welcome back, dear listeners, to another episode of Susan Lopresti Wellness, Mind, Body, and Soul, the podcast where we explore the highs, the lows, and everything in between when it comes to a woman's life, her health, and all aspects of navigating the midlife landscape. I'm your host, Susan Lopresti, and I'm thrilled to be here with you again today. For those of you who don't know me, I am a health coach, a Reiki and meditation practitioner. I'm also a podcaster, and I mainly work with midlife women. So, really, a woman who's in her 50s and older, who is beginning to see changes in how they look and how they feel. And they're looking to reclaim some of their health and their vitality that they had when they were younger. And I help women to do that through very simple, easy lifestyle changes. I like to make things simple and easy because I find that when things are simple and easy, you are more inclined to continue to stay on that path of wellness. I talk a lot about exercise and the importance of it, but I really saw firsthand this past winter, so January, February, March. I guess you would now call me a snowbird because I go to Florida from January through, I came home April 2nd this year. And in February, it was my birthday. My partner, John, kept asking me what I wanted for my birthday. And he kept saying, "Do you want a piece of jewelry?" And I was like, "I have so much jewelry. I love jewelry. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love jewelry. But how much jewelry can you possibly wear? And I don't go to business any longer. And my lifestyle is a lot more casual than it ever was before. So I really don't need jewelry." So we were in Florida, and John is a golfer and I am not. And he usually would take the car to go golfing. And the pool and the health club and the clubhouse and the store is about 2 miles from my house. Anyway, when John kept asking me what I wanted for my birthday, I said, "You know what? I think it would be kind of nice to have a bicycle because if you take the car to go golfing on a different development, I either have to drive you and pick you up or I'm left without a car. So I think a bicycle would be a good idea." And I was thinking it's good for working out, plus it's good for transportation. And so when I first got the bicycle in the beginning of February, I was a little on shaky grounds. I'm not going to lie. Even though I rode a bike as a child, up until probably I was in my late 20s, I haven't been on a bike since my late 20s. So I was a little apprehensive getting on and a little nervous riding in the street. And then riding on the sidewalk, if you go past a lake, you could see an alligator somewhere. So I was a little apprehensive about riding on the sidewalk too. But that subsided right away. And I really started to enjoy bike riding. I was loving it. And so what did I notice right away? Well, first of all, while I was riding, sometimes I would notice that I would take like a deep breath in. So I felt like my lungs were expanding and able to take in more oxygen than I normally do. And I have bronchiectasis, so that's a lung condition. It's like a mild case of COPD. Really, that's the simplest way to explain it to you. So, yeah. So I noticed that right away that my lung capacity was expanding, and I love that idea. And then I started to notice that my stomach was looking a lot flatter, which is really interesting because I didn't really think that you would be using stomach muscles, but I think as you're pedaling, you actually are using stomach muscles. I definitely see an improvement in my butt. It's not as jiggly, and my legs are a lot firmer. Let's say I got the bicycle February 10th. I was riding it up until the day before I came back to New York, which was April 1st. And I pretty much rode every single day. And I want to say that probably within a week and a half to 2 weeks, I started to notice that my legs were tightening up. And I started to also notice a sense of joy and also a sense of peace and calm. And so I started riding. And in the beginning, I was looking at the fact that a lot of the houses all look the same. And I was like down on that. And then that you don't see hardly anybody. I was sort of like picking on the negative things when I first started bike riding, about all the things I didn't like about where I was staying, which actually we bought a house on this community. So I'm glad I started to change my perspective. As I continued to ride around, I started to change my perspective and started looking at the beauty of each home and the flowers and the lake and all of the beautiful Floridian nature, the birds, the cranes, the patterns of the birds. And then I had this bird outside my bedroom window. I don't know what kind of bird it is, but they do like a whistle call, like a man would do to a woman. I remember back in the 70s in Brooklyn, you would be walking down the street and they'd make all kinds of calls to you like that. But anyway, so this is just a bird. But so I really, really started to see benefits in my body, and not just my body, but my emotional awareness to my body. And I was getting more self aware. And as the weeks went by, as I continued to ride and just explore different areas of the community, I just started looking at more and more of the beauty of the community and appreciating it more. So my whole perspective started to change. And that's pretty much what changed the most about me. In the beginning, my feelings were more negative, and the only thing that really changed was me getting out every day bike riding. So in nature, right? First of all, in sunshine, breathing in fresh air, looking at the animals, even the alligators. I'm not going to say that they're beautiful, but they don't bother you, supposedly. But you could look at them from afar, and it's just incredible because they look like prehistoric creatures, right? But it's in today's world. So there's that whole thing going on. And so I said, you know what? I think I want to talk about this whole experience of mine on my podcast. I had the change in perspective. I felt like I was breathing better. I was sleeping better. I'm a very light sleeper, and the least little thing will wake me up. But I felt like I was getting into a really deep sleep. I rode every single day, except if it was a rainy day, but most days I rode. And as the months went by, the change in my demeanor, the change in my body, the change in my sleep, the change in my thinking, even my appetite, I really started to pay closer attention to eating healthier and eliminating more of the unhealthy foods. A lot of people call unhealthy foods junk foods. I don't really like that term, but they are unhealthy. So anything that is in a bag or a box or a can, they're preserved. So if they're preserved foods, they have preservatives in them. Preservatives are not something that the human body needs or wants to have. So your body automatically is going to go to work on trying to eliminate that toxin that the preservatives are and that your body perceives as toxins. And we create inflammation in our body. So inflammation leads to aches, pains, gut issues, maybe migraine headaches, anxiety, and then disease. I was feeling so good from the whole experience of bike riding that then I really got motivated and I stayed gluten free the whole 3 months that I was in Florida. And this is my third season in Florida. And the first 2 seasons, I came home 10 to 15 pounds heavier than I left to go to Florida. And this year, I came back lighter than I was when I left here right after the holidays. So bike riding made a huge difference in my life, in my body, in my emotions. And the other thing that it brought me back to my childhood because when I was a kid, my summers in Long Island, we rode everywhere. We rode to the woods, we rode to the bluff and the boat basins. We rode everywhere. And it really brought me back to my childhood days. And I think that had a feeling of making me feel younger and lighter and happier and more kept. Anyway, I wanted to talk about now going into a little bit more besides just my theory. That's my experience. I asked ChatGPT to give me 10 benefits of riding a bicycle for a female. And here they are. The first one is physical fitness. And I just told you about my changes in my body and my experience. So, cycling is an excellent form of cardiovascular exercise that can improve your heart health, it strengthens your muscles, and it increases your endurance. Now, that's another thing I just want to sidetrack for a moment because when I first started riding, I was riding like maybe in total 3 miles. By the end of the 2 months, I was riding on an average 7 to 8 miles a day, every single day. So my endurance did increase relatively quickly. Weight management. The regular cycling really did aid in weight management me by burning more calories and also boosting my metabolism. That is what really contributed to my healthy body weight. And believe it or not, I came back weighing less than I left. Stronger muscles. Cycling definitely engages various muscle groups. And so some of them are the quadriceps, the hamstrings, your calves, and your glutes. And that all results in stronger and more toned muscles. And believe me when I tell you, in the 2 months that I was riding my bike, I saw such a difference in my legs, not just my legs and my abs, also my arms, right? Because a lot of times it was very windy. So you really have to manage your steering. And I would hold like a pretty tight grip. So my arms were also engaged, stronger muscles, improved joint health. Unlike high impact exercises, which I cannot do. I mean, I'm 64 years old. My joints, my hips, nothing could handle high impact. I gave that up 14 years ago. So cycling is really gentle on your joints and it makes it suitable for all women of all ages. Of course, it makes it suitable for all men of all ages as well. But this podcast is always geared towards women. But anyone can get on a bicycle and enjoy the benefits of it. It helps to improve joint mobility and it reduces the risk of arthritis. Now, the thing with your joints, right, is that there's fluid. And the more that you use and activate your joints, you're activating that fluid. So your joints are not going to rub against each other. So exercise and moving your joints and keeping yourself lubricated, because basically that's what you do when you exercise. You're lubricating your joints and you're keeping them like not rubbing bone to bone. And if that's the case, then you're going to start needing gel shots. So exercise helps to improve your bone and your joint health as well. And then mood enhancement, this is number 5, and this is what I'm talking about, which was the biggest difference. So cycling releases endorphin, and that's the body's natural feel-good chemicals. I've talked about these plenty already. They help to alleviate stress and depression, and they just promote an overall mental well-being. I can't explain it. I am a Reiki healer, so I'm very in tune to the energy and to other people's energy. But I felt like I got really grounded to the universe. And sometimes I would stop and I'd sit on a park bench because there were benches all around where you could sit. And maybe I'd take some photos of some Floridian wildlife. And I would just feel that connection to the universe, to Mother Earth. And I felt that connection. And I felt that overall sense of peace and calmness. Now, it's easy to be peaceful and calm when you live in a golf course community because everyone is just quiet and walking and riding their bikes, and some people are rollerblading. Very much a healthy lifestyle. So it just adds to it. And then, like I said, also enhance lung function. And I saw that right away from me. If I was riding against the winds, let's say, so I really had to put more power in my legs. I could feel myself taking this enormous deep breath in and my lungs just expanding. And it was such a great feeling. And so it improves your lung capacity and your efficiency, which leads to better respiratory health, which I'm all about that, and also increased oxygen flow throughout your whole body. Now, when you have good oxygen flow, you're also able to think clearer. You'll be quicker and sharper on your feet. It also helps with better sleep. You're engaging in this physical activity that really helps to improve the quality of your sleep by promoting deeper and a more restful sleep and sleep patterns. So that's wonderful in itself. What I found is that cycling regularly really boosted my energy levels, and I attributed it to my improving circulation, delivering oxygen and nutrients to my cells more efficiently, and also reducing those feelings of fatigue. A lot of people, they have a mid-morning crash or a mid-afternoon crash. And I found that bicycle riding every day, I wasn't experiencing any of that. So that was definitely improvement. And then there's an environmental impact. Choosing to ride my bicycle is a lot better of an option than driving because it reduces carbon emission and it contributes to a cleaner and a healthier environment, benefiting not only me as the individual, but my community at large as well, right? And so you saw a lot of people bike riding, and there were bike racks. Like by the pickleball courts, there were bike racks. By the pool, there were bike racks. So there were bike racks all along different areas of the community to encourage you to be able to feel confident that you could leave your bike there and it will be safe. And when you come back, it'll still be waiting for you. And then there was that sense of independence and freedom. And that's what it really did for me in Florida. So cycling provides that sense of freedom and independence, which allows women to explore their surroundings, which I did, right? I went around, I was exploring. I rode around the lake. I would see birds. I would see all different kinds of just nature, tons of nature besides just the alligators. And it was just like an overall beautiful, calming, peaceful experience. And so that's it. I'm sold on bike riding and I want you to know about it. And if you have a bike and you haven't used it in a very long time, we're in April now. Get it out, put air in the tires, oil it up, take it out for a spin, and just see what kind of an effect it has on you. I bet you'll see an effect the first time that you go out. So give it a try. That's all I could really say. It offers a holistic approach to health and well-being, providing physical exercise, mental relaxation, and environmental stewardship, making it a valuable activity for women of all ages and all fitness levels. So thank you so much for listening today. If you think that this episode or any of my episodes would benefit someone who you know and love, please, I would be so appreciative if you could share it out with them. Also, if you're currently not following me, please be sure to follow me here. This way, the next time that I drop an episode, you'll know right away. And I would so appreciate that. If anyone is interested in having a 30-minute free health assessment with me, you could go to my website, www.susanlopresti.com. And right there, it will pop up to schedule a free health assessment with me. So if you have any type of health question or concern or want to talk to me about something maybe that I've talked about on my podcast or on social media, whatever, it's 30 minutes of your time. I'm happy to get on a call with you. You're under no obligation to continue. It's just a free health assessment. It's complimentary, and I am not a pushy salesperson, and so you don't have to worry that I'm going to like be stalking you. So anyway, I just want to thank you again from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate your loyalty, and please, again, be so kind. Share it out with people who you know and love, who you think could benefit. Until the next time, everyone, be well, stay happy, and bye for now. Take good care.